Hey guys, welcome back. Just got my Homestead. I'm gonna go check the coop for eggs. We've been blessed with one more nice warm day. I say warm, look at it. It's like supposed to be 38 degrees today, which for February is very warm. So we're gonna go into the high tunnel and get stuff cleared out. We got some work to do out there in preparation for spring. Right now I'm in the chicken coop, apparently with all the chickens. They haven't gone outside today. I guess it's just a little bit chilly yet. It is about 32 degrees, I believe, last I checked. Still no sign of eggs. Nothing. So that's disappointing, but to be expected. I shoot for eggs around Valentine's Day is when they start to come in really consistent. So let's hope for that. But otherwise, before I get too far into this video, I gotta show you our new addition. We brought her home yesterday. I should say Ryan brought her home. He went and got her. And she's in our barnyard so that she's kind of separated from the other ones, but she can see them. They can go nose to nose. Usually we try to keep them further separated, but we have a space issue that kind of kept us from doing that. So we got our new milk cow. She is due in 2 months, and she is a little bit heftier than Lorelei was. She's on the bigger side. Let me show you. She's right here. So the boys chose our naming theme for the year to be herbs and spices. So this sweet girl is going to be Rosemary. The boys are already calling her Rosie, which is a little bit confusing because we have a Rory. So now we have our two jerseys are Rory and Rosie. I will probably call her Rosemary just for ease, but she is settling in here. She's got an entire bale of hay, fresh water. So when we brought her home yesterday, she was a little bit nervous coming out of the trailer, and she was pushing around a little bit. She was shown when she was a heifer, so she should be pretty good with being halter trained and led around, but it's just going to take some getting used to us so that she kind of gets used to her new people and her new surroundings. And I mentioned this in the last video, but she came from a dairy. She was machine milked prior to this. Pretty high production, just not as high production as their Holsteins and some of their other cows. And so they were looking to sell her to somebody just like us, a small farm that doesn't need as much production. We're still looking to get more milk from her than Lorelei. Not because we need it, but just that's her production lines. So we're very excited to welcome her baby in April. Hopefully everything goes well, and start milking her. In the meantime, she's going to need to be put on a little bit of a diet. She's eating a lot of grain, and in the later months of pregnancy, you don't want to overfeed grain because that can kind of interfere with the size of the baby. So we're going to kind of wean her back on the grain, switch her to more grass, and then hopefully when baby comes, she's in a little bit better condition. She's a little bit heavy right now. You know, with those dairies, you want to kind of be able to see ribs. With her, you can't so much. And so we just have a little bit of adjusting to do before she's ready to have her baby. So now we are going to head out to the high tunnel. I am hoping to get all of the old plants from last year pulled out. All of the dogs are playing in the snow. It just snowed a couple inches last night. It's the first snow I've had in a while. We're going to get all of the twine taken down, just get everything cleared out really nice, collect seed heads, and get ready for possibly hosting an event in the spring in there. If nothing else, get it ready to be tilled for our spring planting. Ryan is grabbing the tractor so he can give these guys a fresh bale. And then the kids and I are going to head into the high tunnel, and we're going to clip some seed heads that I showed in the last video to save some seeds, and then we'll work on pulling out all the dead plants. Right now it's so foggy that it's not actually warmer in the high tunnel, maybe a degree or two, unless that sun comes out. But it cuts the wind at least, so it should be a nicer place to work than out here. I've got a lot of work to do. We're just going to take some of these guys and we're going to cut them into a bag and label them zinnia.
Are you going to cut like at the stem?
You can just cut the very top off like this. We'll work on getting the seeds out of them later. If you guys have a knife, you can use your knife. Put like a whole bunch of them in a bag.
Okay.
Even these ones that don't have petals anymore, you can save those.
Should I use my knife or my saw?
Whichever one you find works. These nice big ones like this were those big red ones. We really want those. So we're just going to trim them up. I've got a permanent marker. We're going to label them zinnias. Here we have
that's it.
marigold seeds. And these are just in the seed head. I love marigold seeds. They have such a cool look. So you grab one of these little seed heads, is all it takes. And when you open it up, it's full of these little black and white seeds. That's going to give you a whole bunch of marigold plants. So just from one seed head, this is a pretty little one.
Makes a lot of seeds.
Yep, it's going to make so many plants.
Yeah. I like tried to measure it because it's like so much.
So that's from just one seed head, from one flower. And we can save these and plant all of them for next year.
It's like so many of one little seed head.
Now, each plant is going to have so many of these little flowers on it. So we're just going to bag up a few of them, and then I will break them apart and get the seeds out of them later.
Just wanted to show you.
Okay, do you remember what kind of marigolds you planted here?
Does it say on that tag?
Oh, it does! Ha! You tagged your garden. You did better than me. Orange Hawaii marigold. So these are big orange flowers on here. Very cool. So definitely want to grow those again. Does somebody want to hold this bag for me?
I will. I see the seed! Open it up. Are there any more seed pods?
These are like breaking right off. You can look. There was a couple of radish seeds in here. Do you know what those are? Those are zinnias.
Yeah, I had a couple.
So those we don't need more zinnias.
With 3 bags. I dropped the seed. The seed fell out.
Has any in it. So this one's not fully developed, so it doesn't have seeds in it. So we're going for the ones that.
Oh, there's an orange one.
Look at this one, guys.
Whoa.
Okay, watch though. When you crack it open, every single one of these little things is a seed.
What?
So when you crack it open,
Rosies.
it's like 100 seeds in there.
Wait, they look like porcupine.
Do you see them?
Cloves. Yeah. Oh, mini marigolds ones.
Yeah, they have like the little feathery seeds.
I've seen.
So with saving seeds, the thing to remember is whether or not you have an heirloom plant or a hybrid. These are all heirlooms, which means when I plant this seed, unless it cross-pollinated with something, which I don't have any other marigolds in here, this is going to give me the same product that I planted last year. If you have hybrid tomatoes or peppers or anything, when you plant those seeds that you save, you may get many different products. Because,
Mom, look how many seeds in my hand.
Because those seeds came from different parents, generally selected for specific traits, and then bred together to get your hybrid. But once you start saving seeds from that, you could get any of those traits from the parent plants. So it might not be the same color or size. It might not have the same shelf life. It just depends on what they use to make that hybrid. Whereas with heirloom seeds, which we really like to plant here, you know you're going to get exactly what you planted last year unless it cross-pollinated in some way. So with these, I can be pretty confident that I'm going to get orange Hawaii marigolds out of it next year. You have less risk of cross-pollination in something that self-pollinates, so like a tomato or a pepper. However, if you really want to save those and be very specific about what you're getting out of it, you either want to plant it separate from other things, or you want to put like a mesh netting around those flowers. Wanting to save seeds from something like a pumpkin, where you have pollinators moving from a male flower to a female flower, you need to be much more specific about keeping those separate from other pumpkin and squash plants, or you are going to get some crossing of traits. Now, one of the biggest exceptions is corn. If corn crosses, it's going to you're going to see those effect in year 1. Normally, you're not going to see any effect of the fruit that you are harvesting in the first year. But since with corn you're actually eating the seed is what has the cross in it. So if you're planting corn, you want to keep those separate by quite a lot to not have any wind pollination between two varieties. If you plant a sweet corn and a popcorn next to each other, they can cross to where your sweet corn is going to have popcorn traits year 1. So that's the big one where you really need to be careful about where you're planting things. I'm not a purist about things like tomatoes. If my tomatoes cross and I'm saving seeds from them, I don't really mind. My melons, my pumpkins even, I like to see what comes out of it. So it doesn't make a huge difference to me if those cross-pollinate. But if you're saving seeds for a specific reason where you want those specific traits, you have to be a little bit more careful, even with an heirloom. Now, all of our sunflowers that are in here are crosses from the year before because I just threw all the sunflower seeds that I had out and we let them grow all intermingled, and then we tilled the seed heads in last year. So none of these are pure anything, they're just sunflowers. And honestly, I'll grow them that way anyways. I love the variety. I love when they come up, and some are orange, some are brown, some are yellow. So I'm going to save these seed heads that are in this garden here. The ones out there we'll probably just till in again and let them grow wild. But I'm not going to grow sunflowers in here next year, so I need to get rid of these seed heads so they don't pop up everywhere. Had so many volunteers last year. So I'm going to save some of these seed heads, and then we're just going to rip the rest of these out of here and toss it out into the garden where we're going to have sunflowers growing. And if anything is left over and reseeds, it's no big deal. It's free flowers and free for the pollinators. So it's a win-win in my book. Everything we're saving today is super simple to save because it's dried out and ready to go. Now, if you're doing something like a tomato, you actually have to ferment that fruit or those seeds to get the seed casing off of it. So you're taking a wet tomato, removing the seeds, you ferment them, dry them, and then you can utilize them. Or sometimes you have to remove a seed coating. Everything we're doing in here, like all of these flowers and some of the beans that are dried in here we might try to save, they're all super simple, easy things to save, or to till in and have them come back on their own. So these have actually quite a few little seeds in there. And I'm going to take these inside and then we'll break them apart, or you can use it as bird seed. So whatever you want to use it for. Now this one, you can tell the birds or the bugs have gotten to it. There's some seeds in the middle here, but all of these outside ones have already been removed by something, maybe little rodents or birds. Every once in a while we get a little bird that gets in here. Or it has already fallen out onto the ground, but those we're all going to be just pulling them up in the springtime. We're looking for ones like this that have lots of seeds in it, but I'll keep them all and we can put these out for the birds if nothing else. Some people use these stalks because they are like really heavy duty. You can actually use these to build trellises for next year. This would be really awesome to do a bean teepee. That would be a really cool thing to have a bean teepee, a pole bean teepee made of sunflower stalks. I think that would be really fun. All right, while I've been working on this, the boys have been getting all this twine pulled out of here. Now that's the hardest part of all of this probably, is removing all the twine. I do like using the Florida weave, but you end up with a product that you really don't want tilled into your soil. So we're pulling all of that up. We will try to find another way to use it, because they are pretty long stretches of twine. We could reuse it for something, even building our little teepees. But otherwise, we're ready to compost all of these extra plants. I've got my bag of seeds. We got the zinnias and the marigolds, all kinds of sunflowers. So all of this will come inside with me and we'll work through it and get it packaged up. I've lost my helpers to the snow. We didn't get everything torn out, but we are gonna continue to work on it. I've got all the seeds from the high tunnel in this bag, and then I have these are marigold seeds. They're like the dwarf marigold or the mini ones. These are my favorite to grow. These were outside of the high tunnel in the garden, so they have some snow on them. I'm gonna take them out of the bag and lay them all out to dry before I pull them apart and save the seeds in those. But otherwise, this is just a project for a rainy day, and I will package them all up. I bought some little paper seed packets from Amazon, so I will get them all labeled and packaged up and ready for springtime. I've still got a ways to go before we start planting here in Wisconsin. I know a lot of people are starting seeds right now, but we really wait until April. If I get really antsy, I might start some things in March, but for the most part, I start most of my seeds in April. So we're just waiting for that to come along and continue working through preparations for the garden. We have been really lucky with the high tunnel. We've had very little snow. We haven't had to scrape it or shovel it or remove snow in any way. These warm days like this have been melting all the snow off. It's, even with it as cloudy and dreary as it is today, the snow is falling off of the high tunnel as we speak, and so really happy with that. As much as we wish we had a little snow for snowmobiling and snowshoeing and winter sports, it is really nice in respect to the high tunnel to not have to worry about it. So I'm gonna try to get some playtime in with these kids, so I'm gonna sign off for now. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed so that we can keep you in the loop with all the fun things we got going on here, from gardening to raising dairy and beef and pigs and our little family here on our homestead. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.